Hello, my name is Kate West, and today our Geelong based Regional Industry Advisor Peter McCracken and I welcome Tina Perfrement to our virtual fireside. Tina has worked with businesses and the public sector to improve performance through sustainability in both Australia and the UK. Welcome, Tina, and thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks very much for having me, Kate and Peter. It's good to be here.
Now, let's kick it off with, can you tell us a little bit about the clean tech and innovation sector and your role in the clean tech and innovation sector?
Sure. I am part of the economic development team at the City of Greater Geelong, and we have been running a program called Clean Tech Innovations Geelong since about 2014. And I co-facilitate that program with a colleague who works in the Geelong Manufacturing Council.
Fantastic. Tina, obviously you've got a wealth of experience. I'm just wondering if you could share with everyone some of your working history and some of the milestones that you've encountered over those years.
Sure. Gosh. Okay. I'm not actually going to admit, Peter, how many years it is, if that's okay with you.
Not too many.
Well, enough to be a little wizened, let's just say. Look, I was lucky to cut my teeth in sustainability way back in Melbourne many years ago now. And I started working in the waste sector for a particular organisation whose job it was to minimise waste, improve the amount of materials we were extracting from landfill, and develop markets for those materials that we were keeping out of landfill. And I learned a lot in that first job all those years ago. What followed then was a terrific opportunity that I couldn't say no to go and live in the UK. So while I was over there, I managed to borrow a load of fantastic stuff that we had been doing in Victoria at the time through the organisation that I had previously worked for, which was wonderful because the UK at the time, I was based in London, the UK was about 10 years behind, Europe and pretty much the rest of the world. And yet Victoria was 10 years ahead. And so there were some fantastic programs that I was able to introduce through my role in the UK, working for an organisation that was just setting up to do exactly the same kind of stuff, develop markets for recycled materials. And so through that 8.5-year role, one of the big exciting milestones for me was having the opportunity to work on a program called the Mayor of London's Green Procurement Code. And that was such a terrific success for us to wrap economic growth outcomes with sustainability outcomes. And we ended up doing that so well, I was invited over to Canada to teach some folks how to use our methods who were based in Toronto. And I ended up having to travel up and down the UK, showing folks what we had been doing in London and teaching them how you stimulate markets for recycled materials so that they could do the same on their patch. So after that, I came home to Australia and I'd actually set up my own consultancy towards the end of my time in the UK. So I came back still running that consultancy, but it's a little tricky providing services to clients in the UK and Europe when you're a home-based worker sitting in your home office in Geelong, so I figured it was probably time to go out and meet some new people. So I started working for an employer again, and what do you know, ended up doing the same kind of market development stuff. So it's really interesting how those skills and experiences that I've picked up along the way have continued to be applicable no matter what city or country, turns out, I've been in. Folks that I've worked for have always wanted to try and connect economic growth outcomes with sustainability outcomes. And that's how I ended up in the Clean Tech Innovations Geelong program and stimulating markets in the clean tech space. So look, yeah, I hope that's covered your question, but yeah, I've been really fortunate to apply what I've learned to all sorts of other cities and places, and it's been wonderful to be able to do that kind of work here in Geelong.
An amazing thing is when we travel, we never know whether we're going to teach or whether we're going to learn or whether we're going to do both. So that's impressive, very impressive.
Yeah.
So with that wealth of experience, I'm just wondering through the program that you're delivering in Geelong in conjunction with Kevin Ford from GMC, wonder whether you could share some examples where you've assisted industry. Obviously, one that comes to mind is the Ostend 100-year maintenance-free bridge. Can you expand on that or any other initiatives?
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that one, Peter, because I think whenever I'm asked to give examples of the great work that we've been doing over the several years that we've been running the program, that one jumps out as the first one that people seem to really get. So look, there are 25 projects that we've supported now over the years, and that one stands out as being a really wonderful kind of accumulation of all of the great stuff that we do. It was about stimulating demand for a product that never existed on the market before, and a product that was going to solve a problem for a particular buyer, which happened to be the City of Greater Geelong. And it was a problem that we knew was being shared by other local authorities. And so that particular project sticks out for me as really wrapping up what we've been doing in clean tech, where we try and find what folks' problems are, and then we go to the market and work with suppliers to innovate and create solutions to those problems. And for that Bridges project, the problem that was stated by the engineers at council was they were spending far too much ratepayers' money on repairing and maintaining bridges that should have been lasting a lot longer. So we use the procurement for innovation method to identify that problem, describe it in an expression of interest process, then work with suppliers on the market to come up with brand new products. The ideal would have been that it was going to be a locally sourced product, but we never have, any idea where the product's going to come from when we set forth on a procurement for innovation project. But wonderfully, that particular procurement for innovation project ended up meaning that we did get to use a local supplier that became a consortium with Deakin University and Rockler to be able to research and develop their solution, and we helped them to do the R&D on that and helped to fund them to do that, and then come back to the tendering process that the City of Greater Geelong set forth on for, as you named it, a zero maintenance recreational bridge with 100+ year design life, and suppliers on the market were ready to put forward their evidence to say, here's the product that we have innovated and created, brand new products, a number of them. We had about 8 suppliers that gave us their tender responses. Of course, only one of them won, that was the Ostend Consortium, but the other suppliers were able to sell their solutions to other customers because we knew that the problem that we were solving, this issue with ongoing repair and maintenance of bridges that weren't lasting long enough, was a problem that other local councils had. I probably won't have time to tell you about a number of the other 25 projects, so let's just leave it at that one, shall we?
Very impressive. So if companies, industry and business are interested to get into the clean tech sector, do you have any words of wisdom, advice, thoughts that you'd like to share of some of the challenges that you've seen, how people need to sometimes transition between sectors even? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, our program was set up at a time where Geelong itself was going through one of its many transitions, and our initial intention was to help manufacturers in Geelong transition to a new sector, the clean tech sector. And for us, that definition focuses on, because clean tech has got multiple subsectors to it, but our stakeholders told us they wanted us to focus on waste efficient, water efficient and energy efficient products. And so we have focused on bringing those kinds of products to market, but doesn't mean we don't help with electric vehicle technologies or Internet of Things technologies that help to do things for different sectors. We have supported a whole variety of different projects from different sectors, but all with a clean tech bent to them. I think what I would say to new comers to what's still regarded as a bit of an emerging sector, the clean tech sector, is to know that you're not alone. There's plenty of support networks out there, including ours. There are plenty of clean tech businesses out there, not only just the businesses that we have recognised because we've supported, 25 odd different projects, so, since 2014, but there are also lots of other clean tech companies coming to Geelong because it is a great place to be. We have lots of terrific assets and lots of terrific infrastructure. We have a terrific lifestyle. We've got some brilliant skills and capabilities. And so we've observed that clean tech businesses are being attracted to Geelong with our help and also on their own. So what I would say to new companies coming to the sector is never underestimate how many others there are out there and try to link up with the variety of different services and indeed networks for clean technologies that exist in your region, in your state.
Fantastic.
So thank you, Tina, for sharing those insights. Just wondering if there was any final comments that you'd like to make.
Oh, absolutely. I'd like to very much thank ICN for the opportunity to provide some insights into the work that we've been doing. I think that's one of the terrific things about living and working in Geelong is that we have some amazing networks, ICN being one of them, that we can all do our jobs better if we collaborate more through those networks. So I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today, and on day one of lockdown number 5, we've overcome some internet loading from all of our homes, but we've overcome those challenges, and thank you for spending a bit of time with us. And as always with these, I learned so much, and it's been a delight, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thanks,
My
Tina.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Pete.